Hi, you're watching SBR Videos, and I am Peter Loshak, and it's week one of the NFL, and I'm going to start up my parlay shows again. I love calling them premium parlays because just premium stuff is so cool. It's like premium, but I'm going to wait until I'm actually positive units comfortably before I allow myself to call this the Pete's Premium Parlay Show. So for now, just the Pete's Parlay Show. NFL Week 1, the lines are out. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot of ugly underdogs that the Sharps have been favoring this week, that the public is on the other side of. Very understandable. And I'm not entirely sure that, the Sharps are right. We saw last year, in the Bet DSI show, a lot of the ugly underdogs that Brent told us the Sharps were backing turned out not to be the sides that cashed. The sharp sides in that show didn't necessarily do that great in the NFL overall last year. But this week, the Sharps are on Washington, the Sharps are on Oakland, the Sharps are on Tennessee. A lot of these ugly underdogs. The one eye-popping thing, though, that Brent did tell me, is that the public and the Sharps are loving Philadelphia in general. The Sharps bet Philadelphia futures odds and everything. Super Bowl, conference, divisions, and even player props like Sam Bradford to win the MVP, stuff like that. So the Sharps are liking Philly, and that's pretty dangerous. That tells me that Philly might burn the books at least in the early weeks of the regular season, because the public's going to be liking them, and the Sharps might be betting them as well. And they are going to be one of my picks in the parlay this week. Let's go over some of the other sides that I considered. Carolina -3 over Jacksonville. I admit I'm leaning that way. I'm probably going to bet it, but I care more about the picks in these shows, in these parlay shows, than I do about actual bets that I bet money on. So, I'm going to bet Carolina. Probably, I decided to pass on putting it in the parlay. I like Cam Newton early in the year, and Jacksonville kind of banged up, so that was a borderline one. And I did preview that game with Justin Batt from IlluminatiSports.ca, who went 26-13 against the spread in our videos last year, and that was one of the games he wanted to cover, and he liked Carolina. So Carolina -3, borderline pick for me, but at the last minute I just decided against it. Let's see, what else did I consider? I considered throwing in the Green Bay money line at like -320. Hard for me to see them losing, but that's a massive public play this week, Green Bay, and taking a massive public play as a big road favorite on the big money line spread is just something you don't want to do, and if you do start doing, you do get burned. So I'm going to pass on that one, although hard for me to imagine in my brain when I imagine that game that Chicago can get an outright win. And then Miami is very tempting with Sue and everything. I don't know. Sharps took Washington. I'm probably going to stay off that game as far as the bet's concerned. At first, when I first looked at that game, I was thinking that Washington might be a decent, ugly dog, and turned out the Sharps did agree with that. But now I'm looking at it more, reading some more opinions, I'm starting to think, I don't know, maybe Miami might just blow them out, and Washington might be overwhelmed. So that's an interesting game. And then the Indianapolis-Buffalo game, of course, very interesting. The public on Indianapolis, no surprise. Preview that game with Brandon Shively from GameDayInsiders.com. That guy, obviously, a guy who has had long-term success, and his recommendations are always something I take very seriously. And he liked Buffalo +2.5. That is a side I can see the Sharps coming in on, especially if it moves to 3 on game day. I did talk to Brent for BetDSI, though, and I specifically asked about that game. No sharp action on Buffalo as yet at +2.5. But the public is on Indianapolis. It's possible the line could move to 3, and that there could be some or even massive sharp action on Buffalo at game day if the line moves, So we'll see. All right, I'm going to put 3 plays into my parlay this week. The first one, I'm going to go with Philly -3, even money. These are DSI lines, current DSI lines, and right now that line is Philly -3, even money. Of course, it was -1 earlier in the week, and again, Sharps loving Philadelphia in all ways this year. So here, a week 1 game on the road at Atlanta. I'm willing to bite. The public will be liking that. And, sharp action did come in on it, and I'll take it. -3, even money is my first pick. Second pick comes sort of just for my own handicapping, a play that I really liked to start the week, and that's the under in Seattle, St. Louis. We know what St. Louis is all about this year, right? Revamped offensive line, run heavy, and defense-oriented. And Seattle, in their first game, they're having some issues in general with that team. So I'm thinking that they might, be amenable to a very conservative game plan as well. I'm going to take the under. Earlier in the week, it was around 41. I think I saw 41.5 at some places. Right now at BetDSI, The line dropped to 40.5. So I'm going to buy up to a 41 minus 120. And that's going to be my second play, Seattle St. Louis under 41 minus 120. And then the third play, I am going to take Dallas. I previewed this game with Troy West from allplayswin.com. He, no surprise, liked Dallas there. Interestingly, I talked to Brent about, I was expecting Dallas to be a massive public favorite, backed favorite. Not actually the case. The public is backing them about 2-1, he says, which is, relatively low compared to like Green Bay, which is like 6-1, and Indianapolis, which is like 5-1. For Dallas, it's just 2-1. No sharp action has come in on the Giants on the other side. We'll see where the line moves. Sharp action could come in, but in general, I'm liking Dallas. I'm agreeing with Troy West's assessment. Right now, the line is -6. I'm going to take Dallas, though, on the money line at -270. Why? Purely because I am a gambling pussy, and -6 scares me a little bit. I'm going to take the money line at -270. We know Giants are banged up, and can they hang with Dallas for all 4 quarters, given how strong Dallas' offensive line is, how many weapons on offense Dallas has? Hard for me to see the Giants winning this game. And my longtime viewers know that, in general, I love to fade Dallas as a home favorite. But here in this spot, I think I'm going to take them. So that's the third pick. Those are the 3 picks, right? Philly, -3, even money. Dallas, money line, -270. And San Francisco, under 41, -120. I'm going to do a round-robin parlay of 2s and 3s, $25 base. That's $100 to win $248.61 if all 3 sides win. And if 2 of them win, small loss, but not a big deal. That's my Pete's parlay for NFL Week 1.